Welcome back to Mimi's Organic Eats. Today we're making cinnamon sweet potato bread without eggs. We're just gonna need some sweet potato puree, and you guys can just buy this in a can just like you would buy canned pumpkin. My favorite is Farmer's Market. Sweet potatoes make a really great egg replacer as they're very similar to pumpkin. So if you guys like pumpkin and you like spice and you like cozy snack breads, then you're going to love this cinnamon sweet potato bread. Let me show you how to make it. So I like to make this quick bread with my stand mixer. If you guys want to use a hand mixer, you can totally do that as well. So we're going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Next, we're going to add in 113 grams of softened butter. Next, I have 170 grams of light brown sugar. And I'm using all light brown sugar in this recipe because I want that richness to kind of come through. It's going to go really well with the cinnamon and the sweet potatoes. Then we have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now we're going to mix this on low until combined and there's no butter chunks. Next, we're going to add in 170 grams of sweet potato puree. Next, we're going to add in half a cup of milk. You can use any kind of milk you like for this. Cow's milk, coconut milk, almond milk, they all work. Next, we're going to mix this on low to combine the milk and the sweet potato. Next, we're going to add in 160 grams of all-purpose flour, and then 30 grams of kamut flour. If you guys don't have kamut flour, you could also use rye flour in its place. Next, we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and half a teaspoon of salt. So now we're just going to mix the dry ingredients into the butter mixture until there's no bits of flour. You guys always want to make sure you scrape down the sides of the bowl partway through mixing. This is going to ensure that you don't have any dry bits of flour or any little parts of sweet potato that didn't get mixed in. Now we're going to transfer this to our loaf pan. So now we're going to transfer this to a 1-pound loaf pan. I'm using my caraway loaf pan here, so I never line this one with parchment paper because it releases so well on its own that it doesn't need it. But if you guys are using like an aluminum loaf pan or another kind, you might want to line it with parchment paper. That way it'll be really easy to remove it. And now this batter is a little thick, so you just want to make sure that you spread it out evenly. Now we're going to bake this at 350 degrees for 15 minutes. And during that time, we're going to get together our little topping of turbinado sugar and pumpkin seeds. We want to let this loaf bake for about 15 minutes before we add the topping on top. This is going to ensure that it doesn't sink into the batter. Then we're going to bake it a little bit longer. Now we're just going to mix together some roasted and salted pumpkin seeds and a little bit of turbinado sugar. This is going to give this sweet potato bread a little bit of texture and like a little bit of decoration on top that I absolutely love. You guys can totally skip this step if you don't want to do it, but I really love the addition of the pumpkin seeds and that little crunch that the turbinado sugar adds. We're just going to do like 1 to 2 tablespoons of each. I'll just go ahead and mix that up a little bit. So if you guys are unfamiliar with turbinado sugar, it's just like a larger sugar crystal that hasn't been processed as much. So it's not the same as cane sugar and it's not the same as granulated sugar. You don't want to use either of those because that will just actually melt into the sweet potato bread. So you want to use that larger sugar granule. So you may have heard of sugar in the raw. That is the same thing. It's just like that name brand. So that's the kind of sugar that we're looking for here. Once the timer goes off, open the oven and sprinkle the topping right on top of the loaf. Then you're going to return to the oven and bake again for another 35 to 45 minutes or until the loaf is done. And now you can see we have delicious cinnamon sweet potato bread that is made without eggs. You guys want to let this cool a little bit before removing it from your loaf pan. Then I love serving it with a big slab of butter on top. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and leave a comment below. And if you want more eggless baking recipes just like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join me next time in the kitchen. This is so good. It's perfect with a big smear of butter right on top. You guys are going to love this.